The Israelis, on the other hand, seem to continuously want regime change, and they're going to continue to pound the Iranians, and this is really diametrically opposed to what the Trump administration wants. So clearly, the president has to rein in the Israelis, put them on the same page as the United States, and usher in some sort of peace agreement with Iran for the benefit of the world. Because as of right now, Matt, it doesn't look so well.
What you just described is the only way this can end. I do not see another path to what President Trump wants, getting back to the production agenda, the prosperity agenda, if what you described does not happen. I don't know. Do you believe the United States can end this war without Israel if they continue to attack Lebanon and perhaps attack even within Iran?
No, you're absolutely right. We do have to start focusing on domestic priorities. The midterms are right around the corner. The president campaigned on predominantly making America great again, not the world great again, and stopping forever wars. So this is obviously a very important issue for the America First movement. So I think that the president can actually stop this war as the ultimate superpower. And that's really what the first step towards the peace process was in Pakistan. Now, of course, the Iranians came to the table with some sort of surrender terms that, of course, the Trump administration was never going to abide by. So I think now that the president has decided to block the Strait of Hormuz, show the world and the Iranians that there are alternatives to oil and gas supplies to the Iranians and the Persian Gulf, and continue to cripple the Iranian economy, the Iranians will then now come to the peace table and acquiesce, I believe, to the demands of the United States. Now, in order for that to happen, the killing has to stop, the bombings have to stop, and we have to ensure that Israel and the United States are on the same page regarding that too.
I honestly don't know the answer to this question, but I'm trying to assess whose economy has been hurt more in this war, Iran's or Israel's. I see investment leaving Israel. I see a lot of tech firms shuttering. I see continued downgrades from Moody's and S&Ps on Israel. I see their debt to GDP ratio rising. And I see that Iran just basically took control over the most profitable toll booth in the world. So which country's economy do you think is hurt more?
Well, look, Iran has been hit with punitive sanctions for a long time, and they've
Well,
basically
hold on. I
been
got to interrupt you there, George. We unsanctioned their ghost fleet. They had a ghost fleet with oil on it that we lifted sanctions on, which was like more than $13 billion liquidity event for them. But go ahead. I interrupted you.
No, absolutely. Look, we're comparing and contrasting both how Israel and Iran started, right? Obviously, Israel was in a much more advantageous position given its historic ties to the United States and to the so-called West, while Iran, historically, since the fall of the revolution in '79, has been hit with a lot of sanctions. They've attempted to be isolated from the global economy. Now, I would argue unsuccessfully. They've continued trade and investment with China. They have incredible relations with Turkey, with Russia, other countries. So they haven't really been isolated. So Israel, as a country the size of New Jersey, has been hit with waves and waves of drones, ballistic missiles, capital, and people are fleeing Israel. And you're absolutely right. Their economy has been downgraded. And now, unfortunately, because of this new war with Lebanon, they're also being isolated from the European Union. You just had Italy today say that they're going to freeze defense relations with Israel. This followed France's decision to do so. Spain obviously has a lot of issues. So this is causing not only a fracture with the United States and Europe, but obviously Israel with the West, and it's not benefiting them at all.
It's such a good point as it relates to Europe. But let's turn to the Near East, if we can. Turkey. You mentioned Turkey. Erdogan's exchanges with Bibi are escalating. What do you make of Turkey kind of trying to get in this fight? Like it doesn't feel like it really involved them, but Erdogan wants to stand up and be like the great defender of Lebanon or something. Help us understand it.
No, it's a great point, Matt. Look, since 2010, the Israelis and the Turks have basically had relations reach a collapsed point. After the Gaza flotilla from the Turkish military basically tried to open the blockade that the Israelis have on Gaza. That relationship has never restored. Now there's open calls from both Turkey and Israel to fight one another. Just 48 hours ago, Erdogan stated that they can invade Israel anytime that they want. The Israelis have basically responded that they will respond militarily if that ever happens. And this really is creating a division with NATO, Israel, the United States, how the United States views Turkey. So this is really, I think, a little more than saber rattling. This has been going on since 2010. So I don't think Erdogan or Netanyahu are just bluffing at this point.
So we've pointed out some hot spots, but I mean, today the ceasefire did hold. That's a good thing. That's a real diplomatic achievement of the Trump advance administration. What has to happen tomorrow to have the ceasefire hold another day and maybe string together some of this peace?
Yeah, look, we have to focus on geoeconomics over geopolitics. That's really what the hallmark of the Trump administration has been since day one in theory. And he's been incredibly successful in the Western Hemisphere and parts of Europe with renegotiating trade agreements. So we focus on geoeconomics instead of endless wars and just looking to fight at any chance we can instead of the opportunities ahead of us, not only in the oil and gas sector, shipping, railways, isolating Iran from China, bringing Lebanon into the West orbit instead of Iran's and Hezbollah's orbit. And then we could actually have a constructive, forward-looking relationship with both Lebanon and Iran. And I really think that's what some of these peace talks between Lebanon and Israel today were about, and what I think that the process with Iran ultimately is going to be about, because endless war, Matt, not only goes against MAGA and America First, but it's going to be detrimental to the Trump legacy. And that's something that, of course, the president doesn't want.
Some in the left-wing media are freaking out over this new contract between us at OANN and YouTube TV.
It's dangerous that One American News is being platformed on such a large digital streaming pay TV provider. You're freaking out about the fact that people have choice. You know, like people can't be allowed to hear what they have to say. OAN is not the only channel on YouTube TV. There's like dozens of them. So if you don't like what's being said here, we hope you stay, but there's many other things going on in the world. This is how the left operates, Alicia. They operate in censorship. They don't believe in choice and letting people do their own homework. This is the way the authoritarian left works. They don't believe in choice because they don't like the fact that we don't live in the 1960s anymore with 3 networks and your local newspaper.
We have to respect freedom of the press, the First Amendment, free speech. Remember that.
I want to begin tonight by welcoming and thanking all of our new viewers on YouTube TV. Overnight, One American News welcomed a potential 9.4 million new viewers on YouTube TV. So on behalf of everyone here at OAN, welcome to One American News. We are incredibly excited to have you.
This will allow all YouTube TV subscribers to enjoy 16 hours of live news coverage every single day, as well as all of AWE's lifestyle, travel, and family programming, and it will be available in YouTube TV's baseline package. Now, the Vice President and Global Head of Media at YouTube, Justin Connolly, said this about it: "Our goal has always been to provide our subscribers with a wide range of content, which is why we're excited to bring One American News to YouTube TV. This partnership gives One American News access to our growing audience, while also giving our subscribers even more choice when it comes to news and entertainment. And we here at The Real Story are extremely grateful for the opportunity to now reach a wider audience. And we're also grateful for the time you give us each and every single day. And we're excited for the future at this amazing network."